What's going on, guys? It's DanBeforeTime. Today, I wanted to talk about future DLC for No Man's Sky. There was an article that was published today from the Daily Star, and in it they interviewed everybody's new favorite supervillain game developer, Sean Murray. And he had some really interesting things to say. First, about future DLC and what that's going to look like in the game, and also some information about potentially having No Man's Sky come to Xbox One. So we'll talk about that news a little bit later, but first I wanted to talk about DLC. So as you may know, Sean has talked quite a bit about how he wanted to make updates and content free in the future for No Man's Sky. And he has teased some of this already by suggesting the ability to build our own bases and own the giant space freighters. So we know that these kind of updates are coming. But when pressed further on this in the interview, he did say that he couldn't rule out paid DLC in the future at some point. But he did say that this would only be if the feature was so big that they couldn't possibly afford to do it without charging for it. Now, no doubt this is going to piss the internet off because, well, that's the internet. And they'll probably blame Sean and his evil, lie-filled beard for ruining everything that's sacred about video games. But I, for one, do not have a problem paying for DLC, especially for a game that I really enjoy playing, and especially if the content is going to be big enough to warrant the purchase. So what kind of content would be worth another $15 or $20 for you? Well, we already have base building confirmed in a free future update, and that's something that I'm really excited about. We don't, however, know exactly what shape this is going to take. I doubt that it's going to be something as expansive as, say, Minecraft's building, and I say that simply because this game just isn't designed like that. Minecraft was built from the ground up in order to build and craft. So I think we might see something more modular based, like perhaps we'll spend units on individual pieces of buildings and then be able to put them together in our own way. And that's totally cool. If it turns out to be just that, I'm definitely excited about that, and I'll definitely dig deeper into that feature when it does release. But I would definitely like to see them expand on that idea a little bit. I think it'd be really cool if building was more in depth, like say you had to use your multi-tool in order to excavate earth and move earth around in order to place your building. Or even be able to dig down and reinforce to build an underground shelter. Also being able to have customizable options like color and textures and things like that. Those kind of ideas get me excited, and it's definitely something that I would pay extra money for because I understand that adding completely new feature sets into a game like this is no small undertaking. Also, another really cool idea that I'd be willing to pay for is adding more narrative lines to the game down the road. One thing that I don't hear talked about too much is the quality of the sci-fi writing in this game, and these are the type of interactions that happen when you visit monoliths and ruins. The writing is actually incredible. It's very highbrow, it's very intelligent, and if you read these things, you get a very good idea of what's happening in this world around you. Now, I'm not done with the Atlas path, but just what's happening so far in that, I would love to see more stories played out in this wide open, expansive universe. Another thing that I'd like to see and wouldn't mind paying for is just good old-fashioned quest lines. This would be an awesome way to keep you engaged after you've finished the core of the game, and it would also be cool to use it to tie some story elements into the backgrounds of the different races on the various planets. The potential for ideas here are pretty much limitless, just like the universe that Hello Games has built. Now, I know there's going to be some people that will never be interested in paid DLC for this game and would never consider buying it. But if you would consider buying it, I'd like to know what kind of features that you would like to see added to the game that you'd be willing to pay for. Leave some of your ideas in the comment section down below, and if we get enough of them, I'll compile some of the best ones and put together a community video on expansion ideas for No Man's Sky. And finally, before we wrap it up for today, it looks like there's some good news on the horizon for Xbox One owners that want to play this game. When asked if the game would ever be coming to Xbox One, he said that he wasn't able to rule that out. He also said he wasn't sure what he was actually allowed to say, and he had to be very specific with his words. And then, interestingly enough, a Sony rep stepped in to move the interview along. So yeah, the game's coming to Xbox One. That's pretty much your confirmation. I've been saying this the whole time because he's never said that it's actually a console exclusive. So if you're on Xbox One, you're gonna get to play the game, and maybe by the time it comes out for you guys, it will be smoothed out a little bit and you'll get the better version of it. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Dan Before Time. You've been awesome. And until next time, enjoy your travels.